Welcome to our channel, Elevate English. Today, we have a special story. It is a story about a man who changed the world. It is a story about a man who was considered slow as a child. It is a story about a man who failed many times. But he never gave up. He kept thinking. He kept questioning. He kept exploring. And in the end, he changed physics forever. He became one of the greatest scientists in history. This is the story of Albert Einstein, the man who changed physics. Let me tell you his story. Albert Einstein was born in 1879 in Germany. He was born in a city called Ulm. His family was Jewish. They were not very religious, but they had a strong sense of values. His father was an engineer. His mother was a musician. They were good people. They loved their children. They wanted the best for them. When Albert was born, his mother was worried. She thought his head was too big. She thought he looked strange. She was a little scared. But the doctor told her not to worry. He said Albert was healthy. He said Albert was normal. He said everything would be fine. As a child, Albert was different from other children. He was quiet. He was shy. He was slow to speak. His parents were worried. They thought he might have a problem. They took him to doctors. The doctors said he was fine. They said he would develop at his own pace. Albert did not talk much until he was 3 years old. He was a late talker. His parents were still worried. But when he did start talking, he asked many questions. He asked deep questions. He asked questions about the world. He asked questions about the universe. He asked questions about how things worked. He was always curious. He was always exploring. Albert had a difficult time in school. He did not like the strict rules. He did not like the boring lessons. He did not like the memorization. He wanted to understand things. He wanted to think about things. He wanted to ask questions. But the teachers did not like that. They wanted him to follow the rules. They wanted him to memorize facts. They wanted him to be like everyone else. Albert was not a good student in the traditional sense. He was not good at memorizing facts. He was not good at following rules. He was not good at doing things the way he was told. His teachers thought he was lazy. They thought he was slow. They thought he was not very smart. One of his teachers even said, "You will never amount to anything." Another teacher said, "You are a lazy boy. You will never succeed." These were harsh words. They were hurtful words. They were discouraging words. But Albert did not listen. He believed in himself. He believed in his abilities. He believed in his potential. Albert loved music. He started playing the violin when he was 6 years old. He loved it. He played every day. He played with passion. He played with emotion. He played with joy. Music was a way for him to express himself. It was a way for him to connect with the world. It was a way for him to find peace. He also loved reading. He read books about science. He read books about philosophy. He read books about mathematics. He read everything he could find. He was hungry for knowledge. He was hungry for understanding. He wanted to understand how the world worked. He wanted to understand the universe. When he was a teenager, Albert discovered a book that changed his life. It was a book about geometry. It was a book about the shapes of the world. It was a book about the principles of mathematics. He fell in love with it. He said, "This is beautiful. This is powerful. This is the key to understanding the universe." He became obsessed. He studied geometry for hours. He studied it every day. He also loved science. He loved physics. He wanted to understand the laws of nature. He wanted to understand the forces of the universe. He wanted to understand the mysteries of the world. He was always asking questions. He was always seeking answers. Albert had a difficult time in school. He did not like the strict discipline. He did not like the boring teachers. He did not like the rigid curriculum. He often clashed with his teachers. He was often in trouble. He was often punished. But he did not care. He followed his own path. He followed his own interests. He followed his own curiosity. He dropped out of school when he was 15 years old. He was unhappy. He was frustrated. He was bored. He wanted to explore the world. He wanted to learn on his own. He wanted to follow his own path. He left school and traveled to Italy. He traveled with his family. He enjoyed the freedom. He enjoyed the adventure. He enjoyed the discovery. Later, he went back to school. He finished his education in Switzerland. He studied physics and mathematics. He worked very hard. He was a good student. He was a dedicated student. He earned his degree. He was a qualified teacher. He could teach physics and mathematics. But Albert could not find a teaching job. He applied to many schools. He was rejected many times. They said he was not qualified. They said he was not suitable. They said he was not a good teacher. He was discouraged. He was disappointed. He was frustrated. But he did not give up. He found a job at a patent office in Bern, Switzerland. A patent office is a place where people register their inventions. Albert examined patent applications. He looked at new inventions. He looked at new ideas. He looked at new technologies. It was a boring job. It was a simple job. It was not a high-paying job, but it was a stable job. It allowed him to support himself. Albert worked at the patent office for several years. But he did not stop thinking. He did not stop questioning. He did not stop exploring. He used his free time to think about physics. He used his free time to think about the universe. He used his free time to think about the mysteries of the world. He was always thinking. He was always dreaming. In 1905, Albert had a breakthrough. This was a magical year for him. It is often called his miracle year. He published 4 papers. They changed physics forever. They changed the way we understand the world. They changed the way we understand the universe. The first paper was about the photoelectric effect. This was a very important paper. It explained how light behaves. It showed that light is made of small packets of energy. These packets are called photons. This was a revolutionary idea. It was a new way of thinking. It changed physics forever. The second paper was about Brownian motion. This was about how particles move in liquids. It provided evidence for the existence of atoms. It showed that atoms really exist. It was a very important contribution. It helped prove something that scientists had believed for a long time. The third paper was about special relativity. This was the most famous paper. It was the most revolutionary paper. It changed our understanding of space and time. It showed that space and time are not absolute. They depend on the observer. They depend on the speed of the observer. It introduced the famous equation E equals mc squared. This equation shows the relationship between energy and mass. It is the most famous equation in the world. The fourth paper was about mass-energy equivalence. This was a continuation of his work on special relativity. It showed that matter and energy are the same thing. They are 2 forms of the same entity. It was a very deep insight. It was a very powerful idea. These papers made Albert a famous scientist. They made him a respected scientist. They made him a legend. He was no longer just a clerk at a patent office. He was a professor. He was a researcher. He was a genius. He became a professor at the University of Zurich. He was happy. He was successful. He was fulfilled. Albert continued to work on his theories. He continued to explore the universe. He continued to ask questions. He developed the general theory of relativity. This was an extension of his earlier work. It was about gravity. It showed that gravity is not a force. It is a curvature of space and time. It was a very deep idea. It was a very powerful idea. It changed our understanding of the universe forever. He also worked on quantum mechanics. This was a new field of physics. It was about the behavior of atoms and subatomic particles. Albert did not like quantum mechanics. He did not agree with some of its ideas. He said, God does not play dice with the universe. He believed that the universe was orderly. He believed that the universe was predictable. He believed that the universe was comprehensible. Albert became a global figure. He was not just a scientist. He was a celebrity. He was an icon. He was a symbol of genius. He was a symbol of intelligence. He was a symbol of creativity. People all over the world admired him. People all over the world respected him. He used his fame to promote peace. He was a pacifist. He believed in nonviolence. He believed in cooperation. He believed in dialogue. He spoke out against war. He spoke out against nationalism. He spoke out against injustice. He was a voice of reason. He was a voice of wisdom. He was a voice of hope. In 1933, Albert left Germany. He was a Jewish man. The Nazis were rising to power. He could not stay. He moved to the United States. He settled in Princeton, New Jersey. He worked at the Institute for Advanced Study. He continued his research. He continued his teaching. He continued his advocacy for peace. He became an American citizen. He was proud of his new country. He was grateful for his new home. He loved his new life. He loved his new community. He was a beloved figure in Princeton. In 1939, Albert wrote a letter to President Franklin D. Roosevelt. He warned him about the development of nuclear weapons. He was concerned that the Nazis might develop an atomic bomb. He urged the president to support research. He wanted to ensure that the Allies would be the first to develop the weapon. This letter led to the creation of the Manhattan Project. It led to the development of the atomic bomb. Albert later regretted this letter. He said, "If I had known that the Germans would not succeed in producing an atomic bomb, I would never have lifted a finger." He was a man of peace. He did not want to cause harm. He did not want to cause destruction. He was a man of conscience. In 1955, Albert died. He was 76 years old. He died in Princeton, New Jersey. He died peacefully. He died surrounded by his family. He died a legend. He died a hero. He died an icon. Einstein's story teaches us many lessons. It teaches us that intelligence is not measured by grades. Einstein was not a good student. He did not do well in school, but he was a genius. He was a visionary. He was a pioneer. Do not let grades define you. Do not let teachers define you. Do not let anyone define you. It teaches us that we should follow our curiosity. Einstein was curious. He asked questions. He explored ideas. He followed his passion. He never stopped wondering. Never stopped asking questions. Never stop exploring. Never stop wondering. It teaches us that we should not be afraid to think differently. Einstein thought differently. He challenged the status quo. He questioned conventional wisdom. He thought outside the box. The greatest breakthroughs come from different thinking. It teaches us that we should be persistent. Einstein failed many times. He was rejected many times. But he never gave up. He kept working. He kept thinking. He kept exploring. Never give up on your dreams. Never give up on your visions. It teaches us that we can change the world. Einstein changed the world. He changed physics. He changed our understanding of the universe. One person can make a difference. One person can change the world. Thank you for listening to Success Path on our channel, Elevate English. We hope this story inspired you. We hope it reminded you to follow your curiosity. We hope it reminded you to think differently. We hope it reminded you to never give up. See you in the next story. Goodbye and good luck. And remember, the important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing.